Hi, my name is Kenton Chance. I am from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Most people know me as a journalist, and that's what I primarily consider myself as a journalist. I am the founder and I'm the executive editor of iWitness News. iWitness News is a project that should not have existed for as long as it existed, because it was really just a requirement for my degree program when I was studying in Taiwan as a scholarship recipient. And basically we had to run a website for our internet journalism class, and that program, that course lasted only for 4 months. And what we had to do, we were required to go online and to repurpose news stories from other media outlets. So we would go and write a story from CNN, giving the appropriate attribution, put in the original link and the like. But then I had been practicing journalism for 3 years before I went to Taiwan. And I said, well, you know, I know how to do this. I know how to write the news stories from scratch. So therefore I decided to write news stories about my university and that were of interest to a student population. And that was the genesis of iWitness News. So the internet journalism course that I was doing, it ran from February to June of 2009. But then I continued iWitness News. Interestingly, in that year we had the Constitution referendum in St. Vincent, and I used iWitness News website to cover the referendum remotely from Taiwan. The following year, in 2010, we had general elections in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So there was always news to produce, because everything was broadcast live on radio, and I was able to report pretty much in real time for people in St. Vincent. Taiwan is 12 hours ahead of St. Vincent, so therefore when the rallies were finished at night, I would still have some hours to do my schoolwork and write the stories before people in St. Vincent woke up the following morning. So they would always have news in their inboxes early in the morning from the day before. So I remained in Taiwan until June 2012, by which time I had already secured a job with a newspaper here in St. Vincent. I came home and I took up that job, and that relationship didn't last so very long. It ended after 6.5 months. And when that relationship with that newspaper ended, I thought to myself, well, look, you know, I have this platform, iWitness News. It's a brand that people had become accustomed to. So the following day after that relationship with that newspaper ended, I went back to iWitness News, and I've been running iWitness News as a business since February of 2013, and that's pretty much what I've been doing for most of that time. The 6 years that I spent in Taiwan was a defining part of my life. It was revolutionary. It revolutionized the way that I think, my attitude towards people, my attitude towards life, my attitude towards my religion, my attitude towards a lot of different things. I went to Taiwan totally ignorant of the language, unable to speak a lick of Mandarin Chinese. If the analysis of my friends and people I interacted is anything to go by, I think I took to the language pretty quickly. I was able to learn a reasonable amount of Mandarin during that time, so I was able to interact with people in their language. And when you're in a different country and in a different culture, if you speak the language of those people, then your experience in that country or that jurisdiction, that local, is totally different. So I was able to get to understand the people of Taiwan to a certain level, my friends, to understand what they think, what matters to them, their views of the world, of different people, different religion, different political outlooks. Anyone who has spent a long enough period of time in Taiwan would know that Taiwan is a place where innovation thrives, where people are willing to explore business opportunities. In fact, when I was in university, I had a professor who said that one of the people who went to university with him was selling noodles in the night market and was making a better living than he did as a professor. And the reason I'm saying this is because one of the benefits of being in an environment like that is that we are supposed to take from Taiwan, to borrow from Taiwan, to adopt from Taiwan the best ideas that they are. And this brings me to the point of people actually starting their own businesses. You go to Taiwan, you get a university degree. I think that it's a good thing for people to explore the opportunities that might be there in St. Vincent when they return, or in your home country, wherever that country might be. Sometimes it might be the circumstances that might push you in the direction of starting your business, as was the case with me. But this is a world in which the economy is changing with the COVID-19 pandemic, and even before that, information technology, artificial intelligence is changing the world as we know it. And fewer people are going to find opportunities in traditional fields of endeavor. And therefore, I would like to encourage anyone to start their own business, to pursue their own enterprises. It creates employment for you. It creates that freedom for you to be innovative. You do not have to go into a structured organization that has its own tradition and its own rigid ways of doing things, but you can start your own organization. I would encourage anyone, and I have encouraged quite a few people, and I've supported the application even of a few people to go to Taiwan and to study there. One can get an education anywhere, and that's true. You can probably get an education right here sitting in these botanical gardens. But when one goes to Taiwan, one gets that formal education along with an appreciation of Taiwan. One gets a world view in a context that is not so far from us in geographically, in terms of an island setting, though it's far away from us, and many times the island bigger than St. Vincent and the Grenadines. What I like about Taiwan is that I had the opportunity to study in a foreign culture among people from various countries around the world. Of course, if you go to Taiwan, understanding that this is a civilization that has existed for thousands of years and has evolved in the way in which it has evolved, and to try to draw the positive lessons and experiences from that, then your experience in Taiwan is going to be a wonderful experience. So go with an open mind, go prepared to respect and to share and to learn, and you will be just fine.